It's time to get your clicks fix.
Hello and welcome back to Clicks Fix. I'm Rory, and it has been a day since I last played with these pint-sized plastic people, and it was great. A lot of fun last night. Started playing at a new venue. Hopefully, we can keep that going every week. Actually, we'll talk about it for a second. It was a lot of fun. I created the build. You have to create two named theme teams, one of heroes, one of villains, and then before like the start of everything else, you roll off, and whoever wins the roll off gets to decide if they're using the heroes and the other one uses the villains, or vice versa. That was a lot of fun. Even the sideline, I said, even the sideline has to match the name theme team. I ended up playing. I built a team of Gotham City Underground revolving largely around the rare poison ivy from Notorious and Frank the Plant. Get carried in and have plants go haywire. And then I also built a hero team of Guardians of the Galaxy with the new Yondu, a few of the new pieces and stuff from the holiday set. But I never got to play that one. My first game I chose, and I chose to use the GCU because I saw the other team. He also did Gotham City Underworld, and he had the Harley Quinn from Notorious, super rare one with the Bloodstone. So doing the extra damage and all that. I didn't want to face off against that. So that one, it was a fun game. It was really close at the beginning, and then he started to just miss a lot of his rolls, whiffed a lot of them, and I had some pretty hot dice. And the second game was well, I had some pretty hot dice and took advantage of a few little missteps. So he did make some missteps in positioning because I mean playing on Bloodstone Maze positioning can be a nightmare. Sorry. Anyway, a lot of fun. Hope to play again next week. We'll see what we do. But today, I'm going to do a quick video. Hopefully, it's relatively quick. But we're going to count or look at my favorite pieces from Collector's Trove by Rarity. Now, usually I do top five, but this set is so small that doing top five would basically choose half of the figures in the set. So I'm just going to do top three. Might be doing this going forward, depending on the size of the sets. But yeah, let's get going. We'll start with the commons. Now, I know a lot of people don't like it, and it makes sense to not like it, but I am going to put Thanos in my top three. He is a beast at 300. He's in constructed. You can handle him if you're specifically getting ready to hit 20 defenses and higher, especially at the beginning, and several times in a row. And even if you play him at 150, he is a solid character. There's a lot of good pieces you can put on the sideline for him to choose powers from. I discovered Loki being a really great one, the Chase Loki, because he has so many powers. Anyway, he's actually on the list too, so little preview there. But yeah, Thanos having the power to free choose a character on the sideline with cosmic or deity keyword, choose a standard power printed on their card, and you can use the chosen power till your next turn. So basically, pick a power. You just got to kind of use up your sideline a little bit for stuff you might want to use. I played with him once, kind of just practicing around. I pitted him against the new Marvel starter set, 2025 starter set, and he wrecked them. The only power he chose the whole time was probability control. They would have hit a few times, but he always probbed out of it. I think he got hit a single time that whole game. Oh, it was not. I think he only missed once. Uh, but yeah, and then having the reap when he KOs an opposing character of 30 points or less, score 10 victory points, and there are a ton of those, including bystanders that cost 0. He can get 10 points from bystanders, and that can be amazing in some games depending on what he's going up against. So yeah, Thanos is definitely in my top 3, and these aren't necessarily in any given order, but yeah. Next, for my favorite in for my one of my favorites in common is Cosmo, and that is because there are some pretty good Guardians of the Galaxy pieces out there right now that don't necessarily have power cosmic. And he, if you have 3 or more Guardians of the Galaxies out there, he, oh no, he just gives Guardians of the Galaxy with the keyword Safeguard Outwit, which is great. And then if there are 3 or more Guardians, keyword on the Force, they modify their defense +1. It's for 40 points. And then he's got TK, which is incredibly useful, mind control, which is crazy useful as well, and enhancement. I mean, it's hard to beat that for common in a common slot. I really like that Cosmo. And then my favorite, one of my favorites, yeah, this is probably my favorite generic piece in the set. I think all of the generics are commons. I like a lot of them, but they can't all be in the top 3. My choice is Swarm of Ants. Now, I didn't get the Ant-Man, but and I only got 2 Swarm of Ants in the brick that I got. But I would like to get more. I love being able, like 10 points for poison and empower, and that can be carried around by any larger size character because it's tiny. I, he's just good. And then he has the adjacent friendly characters that share a keyword with it. Modify attack +1, which is solid. He only has the animal and spy words, which makes sense because that could be a little bonkers. If he has access to a bunch of keywords and boosting up their attack and damage with empower. But yeah, I think I will play Wasp because I didn't get Ant-Man. If I did get Ant-Man, it'd be great because he's the one that kind of generates them. But I could just play 2 of them for 20 points. And they got plasticity. Anyway, really like the Swarm of Ants. Now, on to the uncommons. I went with Iron Man. The Iron Man, 75 or 40 points. He's solid at either for how much you're paying for him. Being able to leadership on 4 through 6 is great, and being able to generate sentries. I mean, being able to generate generics is always awesome, and it really boosts a character's figure's viability for me. I got, I think, 3 of the drones, the sentries, so that could work for him. And traded knockback. When he knocks back an opposing character, it deals damage. And that character is dealt knockback damage after resolutions unequipped their equipment. With all the equipment running around these days, unequipping it is huge, and there was a lot of it in the set. So I do like that. And he's got the outwit. He can energy explode, which is awesome. In right circumstances. I mean, you could even give him the universal weapon, give him Pensai, and he can Pensai energy explode. That's for 50 points. I think it's 50. The universal weapon, I think, is 10. Correct me if I'm wrong, but still, that could be quite potent against certain teams. They'd have to work around it, especially if they have a formation style team like that Iron Man. Next, Monica Rappaccini. She's on my list for the uncommons because, again, she brings generics onto the board. Friendly, and she just, giving aim characters poison and safeguard poison, that could really affect a game. There are a lot of characters that they're really hard to hit, but they might not have reducers. And if you just give your whole team poison, that could do some damage. Are you being drafted? Other um, trait power: if an opposing character was KO'd since your last turn, generate an adaptoid. And I like these adaptoids. Not, I mean, it was either the adaptoid or the swarm of ants as my top generics, because adaptoids being able to just copy the powers of KO'd opposing characters is awesome. And she does it. But if they're just out there, they have to do the KOing. But if she's out there, she does the power action. It doesn't matter who KO'd the opposing character. They come out and say, after resolutions, you may choose an opposing character that was added to your opponent's KO area since your last turn, which is necessary to even activate this power. Turn that character to any click, place it on the generated adaptoids card, so he gets their powers. And those guys are a lot of fun too. And they have poison and safeguard poison. A lot of fun. And she's got leadership. 45-point leadership is good. And double target precision strike. I like that. She got the Hydra team ability that can help out some range attacks. I think it's a pretty solid uncommon for 45 points. And like I mentioned earlier, I really like the Wasp. Like we were saying, she's got precision strike, dual targets, and in addition to that, her her attack power, when Wasp damages an opposing character after resolutions, give that character an action token. It's like incapacitate, precision strike. It's just, yeah. She is solid. Like 55 points for to hypersonic in doing that. And she's got the leadership to help the whole team. Low dial. She's got shape change and super senses. I like her. I think she's pretty darn effective. Even if you're playing her at 30 points, she is pretty darn effective. Now, into the rares. This one was tough. I didn't like a ton of the rares. It was hard for me to put something into my favorites of the rares. So, we'll get on with this. Grizzly. I think this one actually surprised me. I was looking through them like a second or third time, and I'm looking at Grizzly. I'm like, he is actually not too bad. Masters of Evil, Sinister Syndicate, Thunderbolts, Animal Detective Spy. So he's a bad guy, but he's got the animals, so he can work with the Ant-Man security solutions. I mean, Thunderbolts are kind of good guys too, so he's kind of playing both teams here. Got the Masters of Evil and the Sinister Syndicate team abilities, which are awesome. First trait, only trait, opposing characters with the enforced scores can't pick up or equip terrain markers and can't be given close or range terrain actions. And that can be a really, really effective thing. Like if you want to not let their super strength person pick up their the phone booth or the heart-shaped herb, bring Grizzly in there, or anybody with that trait, really, and it can require them to stay next to it if they want to have their benefit, or KO him first. Super or special attack power, super strength. He's got this the first 4 clicks, first 2 of his lower dial. Super strength, the giant reach 2, which is awesome. He's got a charge of 8. So 4, reach 2 more for 6 away. Close, make a close attack. After resolutions, choose one, give a hit character an action token, or place a hit character in a square adjacent to Grizzly. So breaking up formation is great. So depending on what you're going up against, you might want to do that, but also just giving out action tokens. Like incapacitate while doing damage was like such a rare thing for so long, and now we see it a lot more, or like equivalent versions of it, which I think is pretty darn cool. And it makes sense, especially for like characters that really don't do a ton of damage. Like, okay, we're going to get one through. I mean, he does three, but if he's going against damage reducers, he might only get one through. So, yeah. And his special defense that he has for one more click than he does his attack, combat reflexes, and invulnerability. And he's got the 12 attack on the end with blades. I think he's pretty good. I think he can do some damage. And he's got the empower, so I think he'd be really good on an animal team these days. There are some really good animals right now. Next, we'll look at the rare Winter Soldier. I mentioned him in the video about what I'm looking forward to. Is a lot of it was just revolving around this ability that a lot of the characters in the set have to change their dial. Once something happens, something triggers, they can switch over to their other dial. I think that is pretty cool that he does that. That triggers on when a friendly character that's either 75 points or named Captain America is KO'd, and he becomes very dangerous. I mean, he's pretty dangerous anyway at the beginning, but he doesn't have a move and attack. He just has the stealth. But once he gets to that second dial, he's got running shot, perplex, energy. He's got for the first three clicks. Once he gets there, energy shield deflection, ignoring elevation for line of sight. And when Winter Soldier attacks a single target and misses, after resolutions, deal that character one penetrating damage, which is awesome. It's like, you know what? I hit, I miss, I don't care. You're taking damage. For 55 points, I think that's pretty cool, especially if you can get them to trigger and go over to that second dial. But if they see that, if I was facing him, I would try to KO him well before he gets a chance to go there. So, yeah. But he's only 55 points, so there's going to be a lot of other dangerous stuff on the team. Now, this one was definitely going to be on my top for the rares. This is my favorite rare in the set. Drax. Like I was saying before, love the Guardians of the Galaxy in this set. And he empowers Guardians no matter where they are. He boosts their close attack damage everywhere. It is awesome. And then his top dial, I mean, he got it at 50 or 75 points. Defend, it's a defense power. Defend invulnerability. Adjacent friendly characters with the Guardians of the Galaxy keyword can use Mastermind, but only to choose Drax. I don't know if that's always a good idea. Kind of depends on what you're up against. Do you want him to take damage, or do you want to have him as a good option for close combat attacking? It's kind of just depends on the situation, but I really like it, having that option. It's a really good option. But really like Drax because there's some good Guardians. Okay, now on to the super rares, getting a little more exciting. Now, here is Ulysses Bloodstone. He's pretty good. I didn't think too much of him at first, but then I saw a game with him played, and I'm like, wow, he is actually pretty good. He's hard to kill, especially if you have Bloodstone on him. And half the reason he is top of the list here is because of the Bloodstone. I really like the Bloodstone. I'm not doing. You can basically look at my top three super rares and say, okay, these are also the top three equipment that I want from the set that I'm looking forward to. That Bloodstone is amazing. It can screw up so much healing. I mean, yeah. But he's got this really cool traded blades. When he attacks one or more characters with a monster keyword, which is still a really strong keyword these days, his attack and damage gets +1. When he KOs an opposing character with a monster keyword, he scores 10 extra victory points. Yay. When he's dealt damage from an attack, roll a d6. 1 to 2, he takes damage normally. 3 to 5, 3, 4, 5, half of the dice rolls possible, he takes 1 unavoidable damage instead. Or if you roll a 6, he heals 1 instead. It's like kind of like one of the old Deadpools when he would be hurt. But the old Deadpool, if you rolled a 1, he's taking extra damage. This guy's even better, I think. Pretty awesome. although not quite as good, I think, as the Prime Deadpool from the Deadpool and X-Force set, because he just heals every time he takes damage. He basically does the modern day regen. Takes damage, yeah, he might heal 3. Unless there's somebody with a bloodstone. And he's got the special movement, charge, flurry, leap, climb. When he uses flurry and hits with both act attacks after resolutions, he may deal damage equal to his printed damage value to an opposing character within range and line of fire he hasn't damaged this turn. And he's got improved stuff for line of fire. He ignores hindering, and he can shoot out of adjacency, which is nice. He's got outwit, precision. He's actually a solid character for 60 points. If you're looking to unload one with the Bloodstone, let me know. Now, next, I had to put Thor on here because he's awesome. I did get Thor, and Mjolnir is so awesome. And Mjolnir can go on so many characters for free. It's awesome. And the first time he'd be KO'd, instead turn him to a starting click, which is awesome. I say awesome so much because it is. I mean, 150 or 50, he's viable at both, I think. He has another trait, close or range, unequip an equipment from Thor, Mjolnir, and place it in a square within range and line of fire. And Mjolnir gives you improved targeting for some stuff as well. Let's take a look at it real quick. We'll look at it afterwards. If you do make a close or range attack, I like that this is close or range. Like, he can do it, and it's within range and line of fire. He could charge and basically do this at range when he's at 50 points, which is awesome. Regardless of range, line of fire, adjacent, he targets all opposing characters adjacent to the equipment. So he plops it down and gets them. If the equipment is named Mjolnir, Stormbreaker, or Yarnbjorn, the damage dealt is penetrating and hit characters are knocked back. So, and he's not using bolts. So he's doing his full damage to everybody that he hits. 3 at low dial. If he's doing it at range at top dial, it's going to be 4. That's why he's 150 at top dial. But yeah, he's awesome. Let's look at Mjolnir really quick. No, yeah, it can go on Beta Ray Bill, Captain America, Odin, Spider-Man, Squirrel Girl, and Thor. Giant Reach 3 ignores characters for targeting, so he could pop the thing back in a formation that they have somebody not a barrier guy, but a tough guy. Somebody in stealth. He'll just be I don't know, I can't see you in stealth, but I'm going to ignore you anyways and shoot past you. Quake and Pulse Wave. I'm just giving him Quake and Pulse Wave. It's awesome. If this character has one of Mjolnir's qualifying names, Mjolnir can't be unequipped, destroyed, or removed from the game by opposing effects, which is great because we've seen a lot of stuff that can do that these days. Love it. But yeah. Oh, sorry. Starting to come down to something, I think. So Thor, definitely on my top 3 in the super rares. Now, also, I got to pick Yondu. Universal Weapon with Ronin is amazing. There's just some really solid super rares. This is a tough one to do, but I had to choose Yondu because of his equipment, because I love being able to just do free damage. He doesn't even have to roll. Free damage from the arrow. And he can do it to multiple people, which I think is awesome. And he gets to manipulate the arrow a lot more than anybody else. When he uses it, he can destroy. He deals damage to each opposing character between the squares and destroys any blocking terrain between them. So he just blasts through and hurts everybody with that arrow. But he's also got this awesome. He's got energy shield deflection and super senses, which is great. One thing I'm disappointed in him is he does not have the Guardians of the Galaxy team ability, because then he can't get some of the stuff from the some of the bonuses from the Holiday Guardians of the Galaxy set. Anyway, his special defense: energy shield deflection super senses. When Yondu uses super senses and succeeds, after resolutions, give the attacker an action token. If you can't, deal them one penetrating damage instead. Another way to do free damage. I already talked about him in my what I'm looking forward to from this set. And yeah, he stayed there at the top for me. And then being able to have the stop on the end and then take a power to either heal somebody 3 on your team or deal 3 penetrating damage to an opposing character. If he does the healing, they also get power cosmic. And then he KOs himself. You don't have to do it. If it makes sense to keep some blades there, it's awesome. All right, now let's move on to the chases. Now, like I said in the my video about what I was looking forward to in the set, I think all the chases are really cool in their own ways, and I would have been fine getting any of them. Saw my unboxing, I got Loki, and kind of just because I got him, he had to be on my list because I'm thinking of different ways to use him. Buddy of mine, Jay, shout out to you, noted that, oh, yes, he is a very good candidate for any of the, I think it's Gaia that hurts. It's, not a possessor, but they're putting on heralds, a god that possesses people basically, but she deals damage to them. He doesn't care about that. Same with Chthon. Chthon giving him +1 to all of his stats. I really, really like that, especially when it doesn't matter. And then being able to make it so, like, if you play him at full points, 180 points, they have to hit him 6 times, and he is not easy to hit. I mean, he's got an 18 defense, probably 19 if you're using Chthon, and then depending on which click he's on, he's either going to have ESD or combat reflexes. He's just, you play him at fewer points and they have to hit him fewer times. And you got Mystics team ability, so you're forcing them to deal with Mystics for however many points however many of those tokens you put on him. And then he gets the gems for free. They do, from what I understand, they do take up sideline slots, but you don't have to use them. You could just not use any gems and keep your sideline free and still play him at 180 points because he gets the tokens. You're just not using any of the one-shots. Anyway, yeah, so he just rotates through the dial. He's got a bunch of stuff, bunch of powers. And one thing I like about Heroclix in general is when games can be unpredictable. That is really what he does. Like, you don't really, it's hard to know where he's going to land at any given point. What powers are you going to have to deal with? It's the chaos, and I love that chaos. All right, moving on to the next chase here is Scarlet Witch. She had to be in my top 3. One, she's a really awesome character. Almost every version of her that they put out is awesome in some way. I really want to get the zombie one. But this is a really, really cool chase for either 30 or 70 points. Like, if you just play her at 30, she's got those top 3 clicks. But there she has a prob that you need, which is great. She gets access to 3 dark holds. And then that special attack power is a pulse wave, which then also gives immobile. Anything that gets stacked on top of pulse wave is awesome. So, yeah, if she's being played at 30, you got to get rid of her fast, or else she's going to just not make your day fun. You're going to probably have to get in closer. You're going to have to deal with the 18 ESD unless you use Outwit. But if she's being played at 70, then she gets KO'd there. You take some Mystics. She goes to the other side of her dial, where she gets Power Cosmic, so can't outwit anything there to make it easier to get through her Invincible and Shape Change. pen size, 13 attack, 19 defense, 5 damage, running shot. It's just, she's a powerhouse at that point. So to me, definitely worth the 70 points. Yeah, she is awesome. And then the other one is another Dark Hold. Another of the top 3 chases for me was Doctor Doom. Anybody that puts out bystanders gets an extra boost in my book. And he puts out some pretty cool bystanders. I really like his the Doombots. Yeah. And it's like he can create 2 of them every single turn. So even if you get rid of the Doombots, if he's still alive, they're coming back. Yeah. Leadership, Mastermind, when he uses Mastermind friendly characters within 4 squares that have the minions of Doom team ability are considered adjacent to him. So he can just push damage off to his Doombots if he wants to. That's great. And then he creates more. It's nuts. 225 is a steep price to pay, but I think it'd be super fun. Even if it's not like meta in any way, it's super fun. He has 2 stop clicks if he's doing that, rather than just 1 if you play him at 75. But his other trait, during forced construction, you can add up to 3 Darkhold 1-shots to your sideline without paying the cost. And they don't count against your sideline limit, which is pretty dang cool. Some of those, I can't remember, does Scarlet Witch do it? These ones just don't, yeah. So I think it's the Darkhold ones that don't count against your sideline limit, but the Infinity Gem ones do, if you have a character that brings them in for free. Anyway, and then he's got Stop with Impervious, and he can reduce penetrating damage, which is a great combination. And then at 75, only on his top click, and then the rest of the upper clicks at 225. He's got the special Outwit, probability control. If a friendly 1-shot was used this turn, he may count range and draw lines of fire from friendly characters named Doombot. So, yeah. And with most of the Darkhold 1-shots and do something against you in some way. A lot of that he can just give the damage or whatever it is to his Doombots. Which, yeah. I would not have minded getting him. Really cool Doctor Doom. But, and then there's the Ultra Chase. And the Ultra Chase is the Ultra Chase. Not going to really talk about him. He's amazing. A lot of fun. 200 points, and he does so much. Didn't get him. But it seems like a lot more people pulled him than most of previous Ultra Chases in the past. So that's good on WizKids for just giving out the higher, I guess they're not as rare pieces, but letting more people in on the fun with those really good higher rarity pieces. So, and then there's the primes. The primes are all awesome. I think there's only 3 in this set, but yeah, they were not counted in these top 3s, or else they would definitely have been in there because they're really cool. All of them are really cool in their own way. But yeah, those are my top 3 figures by rarity for the Collector's Trove Heroclix set. Let me know what you guys think. What would you put in your top 3? This was tough. There was a lot of stuff that was just about even. For some of it, for me, it was, I got it. I can use it. I'm going to try to figure out a way to take advantage of it. But, and also just characters, like really cool, character-wise, not necessarily the figure and the equipment. There were a lot of things that went into what I chose for my top 3s. But yeah, it's been good talking to you. Let me know what you think. What about yours? What are the kind of videos you want to see? If you have any questions, if I got something totally wrong here, let me know. Comment below, and we'll hash it out. But yeah, till next time. Hope I satisfied your need for some Heroclix content, fixed your addiction. Talk to you next time. Bye.